Welcome to our continuing series, Questions and Answers for a World in Crisis. Today, Receptivity and Openness, Part 1. From the Mother. Openness is the will to receive and to utilize for progress the force and influence, the constant aspiration to remain in touch with the consciousness, the faith that the force and consciousness are always with you, around you, inside you, and that you have only to let nothing stand in the way of your receiving them. Opening is a release of the consciousness by which it begins to admit into itself the workings of the divine light and power. Open to the consciousness which is working on and in you, and keep always as quiet and peaceful as you can. Disciple, I pray that I may serve you consciously and sincerely, without the least encroachment or hampering by the ego, and be inspired by you in everything. Mother, open yourself more and more to the divine consciousness, and you will receive inspiration. 9 May 1934. The opening to the divine light cannot be made through coercion. 12 June 1939. To open more to love and to the light. This is exactly the answer I sent to your last letter. Rise higher in the consciousness, love more widely, open to the light, and all divergences will disappear. You must be as vast and comprehensive as the world to do the yoga. 2nd August, 1962. If you open yourself to the force and the help, there will be no strain. 14 December 1963. Receptivity. By revolt, the doors of receptivity are closed. In order to be filled anew, the vessel must get empty sometimes. It is when we are preparing for greater receptivities that we feel empty. Try to be satisfied with what you receive, for it is a matter of receptivity, because you can believe me. I give always much more than what the people are capable of receiving. And in 2 or 3 minutes, they could have quite enough to go for a whole month. But the mind interferes with its ignorant demands, and the whole thing is spoiled. 29 January 1964. My love is always with you. If then you do not feel it, it is because you are not capable of receiving it. It is your receptivity that is lacking and should be increased. For this you must open yourself, and one opens oneself only if one gives oneself. Surely you are trying more or less consciously to draw the forces and the divine love towards you. The method is bad. Give yourself without calculating and without expecting anything in return, and then you will be capable of receiving. Question: how can we know that we are receptive? When we feel the urge to give and the joy of giving to the Divine's work, then we can be sure that we have become receptive. 12th July, 1965. To be receptive is to feel the urge to give and the joy of giving to the Divine's work all one has, all one is, all one does. Mother, on the last few occasions I have felt very tired after darshan work. During this period, I do not do much physical work. I do not get nervous or excited, and this time I did not feel the sense of personal responsibility either. But I remain present all the time, and at the end I feel dead tired. If I have to work, I feel all right, but the fatigue comes after that. Why? What to do? Mother, it is because you are receptive to the force when you work, and that sustains you. But when you are not under the strain of the work, you are less receptive. You must learn to be receptive in all circumstances and always, especially when you take rest. It must not be the rest of inertia, but a true rest of receptivity. Blessings. 9 May, 1967. The disciple sent to the mother the letter of a worker who complained that he lacked the strength to do his work and could not feel her grace. The mother replied, "Here, for each work given, the full strength and grace are always given at the same time to do the work as it has to be done. If you do not feel the strength and the grace, it proves that there is some mistake in your attitude. The faith is lacking, or you have fallen back on old tracks and old creeds, and thus you lose all receptivity." 1st October, 1952. Another disciple. Mother, once again I slipped out of the protection. This is rather bad. I fell in the rain on the terrace between the fruit room and Z's room. All the glasses on the fruit juice tray were broken. I escaped with a few bruises. Perhaps it is a pointer towards lack of receptivity. You alone can cure it. Do not leave it to my effort. Mother, it is rather the other way round. Be passively confident. Let me do it, and it is done. Since your last letter, there is a strong and almost constant concentration of force upon you. Rightly received, you ought to be quite all right. Love and blessings. 8th December, 1967. Mother, several times you have told me about, quote, a fall in my faith. Truly, I do not understand it. Sincerely, I do not know whether I have or do not have faith. It matters little whether my leg improves or not, but let me have some faith. Mother, to say the truth, I do not care much about your having or not believing you have faith. What I want is that you should be all right and do your work happily. With you, concerning your body, I was accustomed to a very remarkable receptivity and a rapid cure. That is the cause of my remark. It is true that we are passing by a difficult period. We means the world. But those who remain steady will get out of it much stronger than before, with love and blessings. 21st May, 1968. Last question to Mother. Mother, before I begin to think that it is a fabrication of my mind, let me tell you that just before darshan, I had a boil of the size of a table tennis ball in a very awkward place on the buttock. Movement had become difficulty. Before sleeping, I told you, this won't do. If this remains, I will have to remain in bed during the darshan week. I am not sure whether it is possible, but in the morning the boil had moved about 3 inches away from the awkward spot, giving me full freedom of movement. In a day or two it burst, and now it has dried up. I still wonder whether actually the boil could move in this way. Mother, anything may happen. It is only our logical minds which put limitations. I must congratulate your body for its receptivity. With love and blessings, 25 February 1970.